Did you know that low-grade inflammation is behind nearly every stubborn health problem, from bloating and brain fog to stubborn fat and hormone crashes? Studies from Harvard show that this hidden internal fire can simmer for years without obvious symptoms, quietly slowing your metabolism and wrecking your gut. The good news, you can turn it off naturally. In this video, I'm going to show you the fastest science-backed ways to calm inflammation, heal your gut, and restore your energy. No gimmicks, no complicated plans, just simple, powerful steps you can start using today. Inflammation gets a bad reputation, but it's actually your body's built-in defense system. When you get a cut, infection, or injury, your immune system kicks into gear to protect and repair the damage. That's acute inflammation. It's a necessary process in short term. The real problem is chronic inflammation, the kind that simmers under the surface without an obvious trigger. This type of low-grade, long-term inflammation has been linked to everything from gut issues, joint pain and fatigue, to hormone imbalances, metabolic slowdown, and even weight gain. In fact, studies from Harvard and NIH suggest that chronic inflammation is the root cause of many modern diseases, including insulin resistance, autoimmune disorders, and even depression. So if you feel bloated, tired, foggy, or inflamed without knowing why, it's very likely your body's internal fire is burning in the background. And here's the tripped out part. You don't have to be in pain to have inflammation. Silent inflammation is far more common and more dangerous because it goes unnoticed for years. If your gut lining is damaged or leaky, your immune system constantly gets triggered by food particles, toxins, and bacteria that should never escape the gut. That keeps your body in an immune fight mode. And when your body is always in fight mode, it starts attacking your energy, your focus, your hormones, your sleep, and your metabolism. So if you're trying to heal, lose fat, or just feel better, reducing this hidden inflammation is one of the smartest things you can do. Don't wait weeks to feel better. My 7-day Carnivore Gut Reset is designed to calm your gut in less than a week. You can grab it for free right now. The link's below. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to reduce inflammation naturally is fasted walking. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need supplements, just your body, a pair of shoes, and an empty stomach. Here's why it works. When you're fasted, your insulin levels are low and your body becomes more sensitive to inflammation triggers. Adding movement in this state, like walking, helps your lymphatic system drain, improves circulation, and reduces pro-inflammatory markers like CRP, C-reactive protein, and IL-6. In fact, studies from the Journal of Inflammation Research shows that brisk walking for 30 minutes while fasting can greatly lower systemic inflammation. It also greatly improves glucose metabolism, hormone balance, and mood, all while activating anti-inflammatory signal pathways in your cells. This is a big deal because most people think they need to push themselves hard in the gym or buy expensive detoxes to lower inflammation. But gentle, fasted movement, especially outdoors in the sun, gives you a trifecta of benefits: inflammation reduction, fat burning, and stress relief. The key is consistency. You don't need to overdo it. A short daily walk while fasted, ideally in the morning, helps retrain your body to use fat for fuel, calms the nervous system, and turns down the inflammatory response. When it comes to food-based solutions for inflammation, omega-3 fatty acids are your best friend. But not just omega-3s, we're talking specifically about EPA and DHA, the active forms found in cold water fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. Here's the science. EPA and DHA are converted into compounds called resolvins and protectants, which literally resolve inflammation at the cellular level. These molecules tell your immune system to turn off the inflammatory response once the threat is handled, something processed diets and chronic inflammation disrupt. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that increasing EPA and DHA intakes reduces levels of TNF-alpha and IL-1B, two key inflammatory cytokines tied to fatigue, brain fog, and autoimmune flares. Even more, omega-3s have been shown to improve the gut lining integrity, reduce joint pain, and support the brain-gut hormone axis, which makes them essential for anyone dealing with hormone imbalances, leaky gut, or mood swings. If you're not eating wild-caught fatty fish 2 to 3 times a week, you may want to consider a high-quality fish oil supplement, one that contains at least 1,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA per day. The takeaway, adding more omega-3s to your routine is one of the fastest, safest, and more research-backed ways to calm inflammation from the inside out. Most people think of sleep as recovery, not medicine, but it's one of the fastest ways to reduce inflammation, and the science backs this up hard. When you don't sleep enough, your body ramps up production of pro-inflammatory cytokines, chemicals that act like alarms going off in your immune system. Even just one night of poor sleep can elevate these markers, especially interleukin-6 and TNF-alpha. Now here's the tripped out part. Consistent, deep sleep does the opposite. It drops cortisol, regulates blood sugar, and restores gut barrier function, all of which reduce systemic inflammation. The sweet spot, at least 7 to 8 hours of high quality sleep per night, in a completely dark room with no screens, 60 minutes before bed. Magnesium glycinate and glycine are two natural compounds that support deeper sleep if needed, and they are often used in clinical studies for their anti-inflammatory effects too. You can fast, eat clean, and train hard, but if your sleep sucks, your inflammation stays high. Sleep is not optional, it's a core part of your anti-inflammatory protocol. You can't talk about inflammation without talking about the gut. It's where 70% of your immune system lives. So if your gut lining is irritated, inflamed, or leaky, your whole body feels it. When that gut barrier is compromised, often from processed foods, stress, or antibiotics, toxins and undigested particles leak into your bloodstream. That triggers a full body immune response, and inflammation goes through the roof. So here's what lowers it fast. Focus on gut repairing foods. Bone broth, fermented foods like sauerkraut, L-glutamine, and zinc carnosine all help to repair the intestinal lining. Even fasting plays a role. Research shows that intermittent fasting gives your gut time to rest, rebuild, and reset. And don't forget fiber. Soluble fiber feeds your good bacteria, especially short-chain fatty acid producers like butyrate. And butyrate is a powerhouse anti-inflammatory compound made in the gut. Bottom line, a calm gut equals a calm immune system. Fix your gut and chronic inflammation has nowhere left to hide. Let's tie it all together into a simple routine that you can start today. No gimmicks, just what works. First, start your morning with a tall glass of water and a pinch of sea salt or a splash of apple cider vinegar. It hydrates you and supports digestion. Mid-morning, go for a short walk. Movement helps flush inflammation out of your lymphatic system. Then if you're fasting, break it with foods like avocado, wild-caught salmon, or gut-healing foods like bone broth. Add turmeric or ginger for extra inflammation-fighting power. Later in the day, aim for 30 minutes of sunlight, not just for vitamin D, but because D deficiency is linked to higher inflammation markers. And when you eat, combine healthy fats with veggies and protein to stabilize blood sugar, another hidden trigger of inflammation. Finally, wind down with deep breathing or meditation. Research shows that even 10 minutes of mindfulness can lower cortisol, your stress hormone. And cortisol imbalance is a direct driver of chronic inflammation. Make these non-negotiables, and you're not just fighting inflammation, you're setting your whole system up for repair. Almost every system in your body, from energy to mood to fat loss, traces back to your gut. When you fix that, everything else starts to work the way it should. Download the 7-Day Carnivore Gut Reset to start real healing from the inside out. The link's below. And if this video helped you, subscribe to the channel. We've got more no-fluff videos coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.